Hello everyone. Today I'll help you understand the rule of V's in geology. Before getting into the actual thing, let's recall what this rule is about. So it is a rule that helps in determining the dip direction of a bed on a geological map or block diagram when there is no symbol given. Where a bed intersects a valley, typically a river valley, it forms a V shape, and the apex or the pointed part of the V points in the direction of dip of the intersection and thus help in determining the dip direction of the bed. To visualize the V, we need to have a bird's eye view of the total thing, such as this one. Let's proceed with the visualization part and you will understand what I am talking about. So, So here we have the blue parts. Here we have multiple figures 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The blue part can be identified as the river valley and the green parts can be identified as the beds which intersect this river valley. So all the river valleys are dipping in a particular direction and we shall see one by one what kind of V shape it forms when we have the bed dipping in various different directions. So first of all we see when the bed is here we can see the green part when the bed is horizontal. You see this bed is horizontal to the surface. So when we see this from the top, we can see it forms a V shape. Here we can identify the V shape and it forms a V shape. If you see only this outcrop is visible to us in the field, we can see this V shape is pointing in the upstream direction. So we can identify that if we see a V-shaped feature in the valley in the upstream direction, we can know that this bed was dipping horizontally. Otherwise known as 0 degree dip. So moving on to the next one. Here we can see the bed is vertical. So when the bed is vertical, we can see from top. We can see from the top that the V is pointing in the downward direction. So when we see a V pointing in the downward direction, we can identify that this bed was dipping vertically. That means the dip was almost 90 degrees. Moving on to the next one. In this diagram or the model, we see that the tip of the bed is in the right direction. Or if we take the normal coordinate system, the north pointing upwards, then it is in the east direction. And the valley is in the west direction, dipping in the west direction. So the tip of the bed is opposite to the valley. So when this type of condition occurs, we can see when viewed from the top, this V also points in the upward direction. But when compared to the horizontal, in this part the V is wider. Now moving on to the next one, we see this is a bed and this is the valley. So we can see that both are dipping in the same direction. If you see both of the dips, we can see that both of the dip is in the same direction. Like the previous coordinate system, if you take, then both are dipping in the west direction. So what will be the V? So when this kind of condition comes, we can see in the diagram or model in the behind. Here also we have the bed dipping in the direction of the valley. So in two conditions, there occur two type of V's. In the first condition, which is in the front, we can see that the bed is dipping at an angle more than the valley. That means the dip angle of the bed is more than that of the valley. Whereas in the second case, in the background case, it is the opposite. Here the bed dips. Here the bed dips at a lower angle than the valley. So we shall see from the bird's eye view what these kind of situations, what kind of views they make. So as we can see here, when the bed dips at a higher angle than the valley, then the V is pointing in the downward direction. Or we can see here the V is pointing in the downstream direction. But in the second case, when the bed is dipping at a lower angle than the valley, then we can see the V is pointing in the upstream direction. So that was all about the V's rule. Thank you.